The dramatic fall of the Assad regime in Syria is still sending shockwaves throughout the region. Multiple countries have backed different factions inside the country. Here's a look at the international winners and losers as the dust settles.
Rebels from the Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS group, taking over Syria's capital Damascus, spurring celebration in some parts of the world and silence in others. One big winner so far is Turkey and its president Recep Tayyip Erdogan, long a major supporter of HTS and other Sunni Muslim opposition groups. Turkey is also eager to resettle more than 3 million Syrian refugees that it has taken in since the civil war began. Turkish companies might gain lucrative contracts in rebuilding the country. Turkey also has many military positions inside Syrian territory, and it may move to overthrow a longtime nemesis, the Kurdish Autonomous Administration in northeastern Syria, which has repeatedly come under attack from Turkish forces. Iran is a big loser in the fall of the Assad regime. Syrians stormed the Iranian embassy in Damascus soon after the regime fell, a sign of long-term grievances at the country that helped prop up the Assad regime. Shia Iran loses one of its most important military allies in the region, billions of dollars in trade, and the land bridge linking it to Hezbollah, which was already weakened after months of war with Israel. Israel sees a strategic gain. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu had described Syria as part of the Iranian axis of evil, but remains cautious about what the future might bring. Israel stepped up its military operations, bombing Syrian military assets. Its foreign minister has said that a unified Syria is unlikely to hold together. Russia has effectively lost an important ally, which could pave the way for the loss of strategic military bases. Russia has a vital naval base in Tartus, one of its most important military assets outside its borders. This base provides logistical support for Russian warships in the Mediterranean. It was the big prize Putin received in exchange for military intervention in support of the Assad regime in 2015 and for continuing to protect the regime in the years after. Sunni Muslim countries, especially Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Qatar, have much to celebrate in the fall of an Iranian ally. But they're also suspicious of HTS and its close ties to Turkey, as well as the history of its leader, Ahmad al-Sharaa, who was previously associated with al-Qaeda. Most of the statements from Arab capitals that welcomed Assad's departure emphasized the importance of preserving the unity of Syrian territory. The risk of Syria splitting up is indeed a major unknown, one that could dramatically reshape the region again.
For more, I'd like to welcome Ibrahim Al-Assil, fellow at the Middle East Institute, who joins us now from Damascus. Ibrahim Al-Assil, let's focus first on the massive power vacuum left in the wake of Assad's fall. Clearly an opportunity for foreign powers, and it's been said Turkey's poised to be the biggest winner. Would you agree?
I agree with that statement. I think Turkey has just gained a lot inside Syria. Of course, Syria is a neighboring country for Turkey, so it's kind of natural, if we're talking about geopolitics, for Turkey to be interested and to be influential inside Syria. However, I would like also to highlight that over the last few months, President Erdogan, the Turkish president, tried to reach out to Assad multiple times in hope of reaching some sort of a settlement inside Syria, but Assad refused to negotiate before all Turkish forces and all Turkish-backed forces leave Syria. And that's where we are today. Of course, Turkey has gained a lot. And I think what happened inside Syria won't only make Turkey a very influential country inside Syria, but it will give it a much bigger leverage in the region over other countries as well.
What stands out most to you about how foreign powers are currently positioned in Syria? Sir, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, could you repeat the question? I missed your question.
I'm really curious
Yes,
from
now
your...
I can hear you. Could you
From
repeat the question, please?
Sure. From your perspective, what stands out most to you from how countries are positioned currently in Syria?
You know, many countries are repositioning themselves inside Syria because many assumed that Assad would stay in power, at least for the foreseeable future. We've seen different countries reaching out to Assad. I spoke about Turkey, but also other Arab countries. They welcomed Assad back into the Arab fold. They gave him the seat again at the Arab League, thinking that Assad has consolidated power, at least in the majority of the country. But now things are different. And those who are in power, Hayat Tahrir Sham, led by Ahmed al-Shara, many countries know little about them. They are trying to reach out, they're trying to understand them, and they're trying to also highlight some red lines about their national security, especially when it comes to jihadist groups and how HTS might position itself regionally in the future.
We've got limited time, but I do want to ask you this. HTS has appointed a transitional leadership that will run the country until March 1st. There's been a flurry of foreign officials cautiously engaging with the group in the past week, including Britain, France, and Germany. What would be your message to those foreign officials?
Syrians too are very cautious about that. I think the issue of power sharing is a good indicator if the transitional government is serious about being inclusive in the future or not. If they include other elements and be open to other components of the Syrian society, I think that's a good indicator. Otherwise, we should be cautious because another totalitarian regime might emerge out of all of these events.
Got it. That's Ibrahim Al-Assil. Many, many thanks for your time and particularly your perspective.
Thank you.
And for more, we can bring in Nanar Hawasch. She's a senior analyst for Syria at the International Crisis Group, joining us from Dubai. Welcome to DW. Thank you for your time today. Many see Turkey as the biggest winner following the toppling of Assad. Would you agree with that assessment?
Yeah, happy to be here. I would definitely agree with that. If Iran is the biggest loser in this new series of events, Turkey is definitely the biggest winner. Turkish affiliated groups, Syrian National Army, the SNA have been pushing and almost reached Damascus alongside HTS or under the command or leadership of HTS, but nonetheless, they are in Damascus now. HTS, Tahrir al-Sham, is close or has relationships or relations with some kind of relations with Turkey. So, and more importantly, right now, Turkey is at the best place to pressure the Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces, which Turkey has always saw as the main security threat that it has. So Turkey is in the best place it could be when it comes to the Syrian war or when it comes to Syria.
There is, of course, a long history of foreign powers vying for influence in Syria, including during its civil war. What stands out most to you when you look at foreign positioning now for the country's future?
So I can answer this in two segments. The first is now, what's happening. What's happening now is that countries are kind of coming out of their shock and they're engaging with the new regime. They're accepting the existence of a new regime. Countries are positively engaging with it, especially regional Arab countries. And also international community is dealing with this new regime. This actually includes Russia, that is in contact or in communication to maintain some sort of relations with this new regime, although it understands that these relations will be extremely limited now. And the second part has to do with the future. And this is important because, as you said, and you put it very well, Syria has been meddled with a lot. It is a highly internationalized civil war, or it was. So there's a fear of foreign countries intervening, especially indirectly or through proxies, or destabilizing the country, or pushing and supporting specific actors, which leads to the stability of the country.
So
this is a fear.
You see, if I can ask you, how do you see the power vacuum being filled in the coming months or even years?
There's a power vacuum left by the regime. The regime kind of collapsed on itself, and it left space for different actors to work. One of the most dangerous actors is ISIS. So ISIS is taking advantage of this power vacuum and is taking space, taking equipment that was left by the regime. So in Al-Badia, in the desert, in the middle of Syria, and then almost all the way to the Iraqi borders, ISIS has been proactively building itself. So there's a danger of some kind of ISIS reemergence. And the power vacuum with the international community, of course, the main backers were Iran and Russia, and these are going to be replaced. Who's going to replace them? Definitely Turkey is a main actor. Who else? It's unclear right now.
OK. We're hearing from Syrians, we're hearing hope, we're hearing positive feelings about the future, hope that life will get better. We obviously see HTS now taking a leading role. How do you assess HTS's capacity to lead, to unify the various factions within the country, and to possibly fulfill people's hope that life can get better now for all Syrians?
This is an excellent question. As I said from the beginning, that it's not only HTS that is present on the ground. And this is a very important fact. So hope is, people are filled with hope. There is something to look forward to. However, this last week has been alarming. Minority communities across 4 provinces have lacked security. There has been looting, there has been killings and kidnappings, and it's because of HTS lacking capacity. HTS, we said it from the beginning, we were afraid that HTS would not have the capacity to control an entire country, and then that would mean other actors, like some SNA factions, playing a role in that. But the thing is, this is leading to a different type of insecurity that could take the country, or could risk the country going into localized rebellions because of these minorities not being protected or being harassed in different way or another. So there's the fear of how minorities will be treated, how minorities are treated, and maybe maybe foreign powers taking advantage of what's happening. That might slide the country or slide Syria into an unknown and dangerous place. On the other hand, as you said and put it very well, there is hope, including minorities are feeling hope. The Syrian public in general are feeling hope, but there is the fear.
Nanar Hawasch from the Crisis Group in Dubai. Nanar, thank you so much for your analysis. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.